You know what fascinates me most about diabetes? It's not actually about genetics like we've been led to believe. After working with thousands of diabetes patients, I've uncovered something that will completely change everything you thought you knew about blood sugar control. Let me share something personal with you. I remember watching my grandmother meticulously count her carbs, measure her portions, and follow every dietary rule. Yet she still struggled with her blood sugar. Like many of you, she believed diabetes was her destiny because it ran in her family. But here's the shocking truth. Type 2 diabetes isn't a genetic sentence. It's largely about how our modern food environment has set us up for failure. Think of insulin as a key that unlocks your cells to let glucose in. When you constantly flood your body with carbs and sugar, it's like making hundreds of copies of that key. Eventually, your cells stop responding. That's insulin resistance. But here's the exciting part. You can actually reverse this process. You know what's really mind-blowing? Your body doesn't even need carbohydrates to survive. I know, shocking, right? We have essential amino acids and essential fatty acids, but there's no such thing as an essential carbohydrate. Your body can produce all the glucose it needs through a process called gluconeogenesis. Let me take you into your kitchen for a moment. Those so-called healthy whole grain crackers in your pantry? They actually contain about 10% more carbs than what's listed on the label. And that so-called diabetic-friendly breakfast cereal? Forget about it. It might be spiking your blood sugar more than pure table sugar. This is why I'm so passionate about combining smart food choices with proper supplementation. Many of my patients have experienced remarkable success using our SugarMD Advanced Glucose Support alongside these dietary changes. It's like giving your body an extra tool to help maintain healthy blood sugar levels at all times. Before we dive deeper into solutions, let's break down what happens when you eat different types of foods. When you eat carbohydrates, your blood sugar and insulin spike dramatically. With protein, the rise is much smaller. But with fat, almost nothing happens. It's like a flat line on your continuous glucose monitor. Let's talk about some game-changing food hacks for diabetes control. Speaking of food, let me share something fascinating about pasta that changed everything for my patients. Ever wonder why Italians seem to eat pasta all the time yet have lower diabetes rates than the United States? It's all about how they prepare it. They use high-fiber varieties, add olive oil, and here's the key: they never overcook it. That al dente texture actually lowers its glycemic index. But here's an even crazier hack. Freezing your bread or pasta and properly thawing it can actually make it better for your blood sugar. Sounds crazy, right? But science backs this up. When you freeze bread or pasta, the starch molecules restructure in a way that makes them harder for your body to break down. One of my patients combined this technique with the Advanced Glucose Support supplement, and she saw remarkable improvements in her post-meal blood sugar levels. Let's talk about beverages for a moment. This is where most people get tripped up. That 12-ounce can of cola you're having with lunch? It's packing 40 grams of carbs. That's more than most diabetics should have in an entire meal. And don't even get me started on those fancy coffee drinks. A 16-ounce caramel macchiato has about 60 grams of carbs. That's equivalent to eating 4 slices of bread. Here's what I recommend to my patients. Start your day with water and lemon, maybe some black coffee with heavy cream. Take your Advanced Glucose Support supplement. And if you need something sweet later, try my special sweet potato hack. This is fascinating. If you boil a sweet potato for 30 minutes instead of 8 minutes, its glycemic index drops from 61 down to 46. Science is amazing, isn't it? Now, let's talk about exercise and blood sugar, because this is where most people get it wrong. You might think intense exercise is better, but gentle movement is actually more effective for managing diabetes. When you exercise intensely, your body releases stress hormones that can temporarily raise your blood sugar. But a simple 10-minute walk after each meal? That's perfect for helping your muscles use up excess glucose naturally. The yogurt situation is another classic example of food marketing deception. Those low-fat yogurts? They're basically desserts in disguise. About 60% of their calories come from sugar. Instead, opt for full-fat plain Greek yogurt. Add some berries if you need sweetness. The fiber will help slow down sugar absorption. Now, let's talk about a revolutionary discovery in natural blood sugar control. You know those expensive GLP-1 medications like semaglutide and tirzepatide that everyone's talking about? Let me share something exciting that your doctor probably hasn't told you. Your body can actually produce its own GLP-1 naturally. It's like having your own diabetes defense system built right in. I had a longtime patient frustrated about the cost of GLP-1 medications. Together, we discovered that certain foods, combined with her advanced glucose support supplement, could help optimize her body's own GLP-1 production. The results were incredible. Now, let's talk about bone broth. It's not just a trendy health food, it's rich in glutamine, which is like rocket fuel for your GLP-1 system. I recommend making it at home, but here's a trick. You need to simmer those bones for at least 24 hours. One of my patients swears by having a cup of bone broth before meals, along with her advanced glucose support supplement, and she says it has completely changed her relationship with food. And here's something fascinating. Bitter foods are like a secret weapon for diabetes management. Every time you taste something bitter, you're actually triggering GLP-1 release. Think arugula, dandelion greens, or even fresh herbs like rosemary. It's nature's way of helping us control blood sugar. But timing is everything. Here's a game-changing strategy. Start your meals with bitter greens dressed in apple cider vinegar. The vinegar slows carb absorption, while the bitter greens stimulate GLP-1. Add some protein, and you've created the perfect blood sugar-friendly start to your meal. Fermented foods are another powerhouse for diabetes management. Foods like kimchi, sauerkraut, and traditional pickles create short-chain fatty acids that trigger GLP-1 release. It's like having a natural diabetes medication working for you. When combined with the advanced glucose support supplement, many of my patients report feeling satisfied for hours while maintaining stable blood sugar levels. And here's another mind-blowing tip about meal timing. Eating your protein and vegetables before any carbs can increase GLP-1 release by up to 300%. Imagine starting every meal this way. It's like having your body's natural diabetes medication working at full strength. When patients combine all of these strategies, the food timing, the bitter greens, the fermented foods, and the proper supplementation with advanced glucose support, we often see remarkable improvements. While everyone's results vary, the science behind this approach is solid. One of my patients was taking 300 units of insulin daily. You heard me right, 300 units. After implementing these strategies, she was able to reduce her insulin by 60%. While this isn't typical for everyone, it shows what's possible when you give your body the right support. Remember, diabetes doesn't have to control your life. With the right knowledge and support, you can take back control of your health. Start with one change today. Whether it's adding fermented foods to your diet or trying that bone broth trick, Every step forward counts. The future of diabetes management isn't just about medications. It's about understanding your body and giving it the support it needs to thrive. You have more control than you think. Take that first step today. Your future self will thank you.